Hey guys, this is Reviews and More, back with another review, and as always, before we begin, if you find this review helpful, if you wouldn't mind, please like the video, comment if you have any questions, and subscribe to my channel. It really helps me out. This is something I'm really excited about because it's from my favorite store in the world, because it's just a weird German store where they open up shop in America, and it's just fun because you never know what you're going to find in there because they just have everything. That's Lidl or Lidl, depending on how you spell it, L-I-D-L. And this is from their power tool series they have called Parkside, and this is Parkside Performance. These are higher end tools with a very, very low end cost. This is a brushless, cordless drill screwdriver, 20 volt. It comes with the hard case, the drill itself. It also comes with it comes with the main battery, and it has a charger that has an automatic off. So it's a charger, hard case, drill itself, battery. And if you'd like to purchase an additional battery, they'll cost only $16. So this full set costs $80, plus the extra battery costs another $16. So you're talking about under $100 plus taxes. So very inexpensive for a 20 volt brushless system here that's going to last a while. We'll talk a little bit we're going to do some major comparisons between this drill and the Dewalt quote-unquote equivalent. We'll talk about the pros and cons of both, and I'll put up the main specs for each as we go through the review. I'll try to timestamp it out. That way, if you want to go down to the first pinned comment, that'll be a series of timestamps. You want to skip some things. And I'll end on a quick demonstration, making sure that it can actually do what it says it does. The first thing we'll point out is the color scheme is nice, and it's all rubberized. So everything that's basically black on there, outside of the chuck in the front, and I'm testing to make sure everything clicks in place, is rubberized. It's very ergonomic, very, very comfortable. Fits very well in your hand. It is not difficult to wield or use at all. It's no worse than than the DeWalt Yellow Specials. So this is a very ergonomic and easy to use tool. So that's kind of nice. It's 2-speed, and we'll talk about the specs in just a little bit. The first set of specs you're going to see and me discuss are the Parkside specs, followed by the DeWalt specs, and I'll compare the two when it's appropriate. Alright, so this is the actual ad from Lidl. The only thing that's inaccurate about the images on this ad is at the top left you'll see a bit set there that goes with this. It is not actually sold with this deal for $80, so that's the only thing that's not accurate. I'm about to list out the main specs to you. First, the battery is 20 volts. Obviously, it's got the battery that comes with the drill is 2.5 amp hours. The battery that is bought separately is only 2. The charge time on that 2.5 amp hour battery is 45 minutes. The max torque is 44.25 foot-pounds of force. Speed on gear 1, 0 to 500 RPMs. Speed on gear 2, 0 to 2000. Torque settings, there's 21 plus a drill setting. And obviously it includes one drill, one battery, a charger, and the hard carrying case. It is the battery is set to last for 505 screws being taken in and removed out of pine on 2 1/3 inch wood screws that are a 1/4 inch in diameter. The dimensions on this item are about 4 inches wide, 10 inches in height. I'm sorry, 10 inches in height, 8 inches in overall width. So basically, from the tip of the chuck to the back end is about 8 inches or so, and then the height is about 10. And those are the dimensions with the battery installed, and right there, as you've been looking at, that's the actual ad for the battery. One thing that is included with this purchase is the fact that there's a 90-day return policy on all their power tools that Parkside offers, that Lidl offers under the Parkside brand. That's a big deal because that gives them some level of parity with Home Depot and DeWalt, which also grants a 90-day return policy. There's also a 5-year warranty on the Parkside tool, but there is no repair clause, so they won't repair the tools, where for about 1 year with a DeWalt they will repair the tools for that length of time, but it's only a 3-year warranty, so it's give and take there. It's which one you value more. Do you think it's going to break in a way that's going to need to be repaired, or do you think it's going to just catastrophically fail one day? I don't think either, because it feels very robust and high quality, and we'll talk about that a little later on. Alright, now what you are currently looking at is the ad as of 5/1/2019 for the DeWalt equivalent special. So it's $200 for 2 batteries, both 20 volt, 2 amp hours. a brushless drill, just like the one from Parkside, the same exact, really the same specs basically. The only real difference is that battery size and the fact that there simply is not a max torque listed anywhere that I could find. If you find one, please leave a comment and I'll pin it just so we can have the information there and it'll be available for people to look at in one spot. Same max speed, same two speed system. There might be a little bit of variation on the first speed. I think it's like 1 to 600 RPM, where the Parkside is 1 to 500, but that difference is pretty negligible when you really break it down. And it's got 15 torque settings plus a drill versus 21 torque settings plus the drill setting that's on the Parkside. So the differences are minor. Even the dimensions are virtually identical. Like the profile of this drill is very, very close in nature. There's almost no real difference. It even looks very similar outside of a few of the little things that get added on later. One major difference between this set and the Parkside is the labeling of where it's made. So first we got to point out that the Parkside is made in China and it's advertised as such. They don't make any bones about it. It's so Lidl, they get their stuff and they make it. It's made in China. The Dewalt is basically it's made in America it's assembled in America. Sometimes they made in America and they kind of switch those terms around, from foreign parts or from international parts. They use various phrases for it. I believe the official phrase they actually use is built in the USA, so assembled with global materials. Those materials can come from China, Brazil, several other places. What that means most likely, because they don't really get into what that actually means in any kind of like fine print anywhere, is that they're taking the pieces and parts and putting them together in America. I doubt there's any soldering of like the various motor pieces going on inside the US. That's probably happening in China and Mexico, and they just take the pieces, stick them all together, make sure Dewalt's not uneven on the little box and everything, and that's how they take care of it. Most of the battery manufacturer, the actual real manufacturing that we would think of building a motor for a drill, probably does not happen here, although we don't really have anything to go on with that because they don't release that information, because for the most part people who care about something being made in America will probably be very disappointed with the definition of what assembled in America means. So to me, that's a non-starter as far as where the value is basically, who do you care, put the label on properly. Do you care if someone from China did it, or if somebody making $7.25 an hour did it over in Texas, or wherever else, or North Carolina? They have an assembly plant in North Carolina as well. So that's neither here nor there in my opinion, but some people might care about that more and make you aware of that. Parkside's made in China. Dewalt is assembled in the United States with Chinese, Brazilian, and other parts. So that's the deal with that. And in just a few moments, you're going to see me testing out the actual battery charger, and just seeing what that looks like as it's working. Alright, so what you're currently looking at is just me taking the battery out and using the battery indicator button. So right there, if you see me pushing that little red button on the right hand side of the battery, you can just adjust the lights a little bit, make it a little easier to see. You'll see that out of the box it comes at a low charge. So right here we see it at a lower charge. It's not out because it's still functioning, but it's definitely a lower charge, and that's the actual charging port right there in front of us. And I'm going to zoom in on it real fast. It is, when that green light's on with no battery pack in it, just saying it's ready to charge, it's ready to go. So once we get the actual battery on there, you will see a little light turn red next to the green light, and at that point you know it is currently charging. If you see intermittent or flashing, it means something is wrong. Either the battery has died, broken, or you got a bad cell somewhere, or you have a bad charger. So just keep an eye on that. Didn't happen to me, so I'm not too worried about it. And once it's fully charged, it will automatically stop charging, which is good because it will keep the battery from wearing out. And that green light will come on, and at that point, no further charging is taking place, and it protects your battery's life. And right here, there it goes, down it's red, and after about 40 minutes, because it had a little bit of charge on it, it'll be ready to go. Alright, so now we see the button, the little light there is green, which means it's fully charged, and once that green light goes off, it stops charging. That way you don't wear out the battery. Once you get that done, you just slide the battery off, and we can do a quick test of it to make sure it actually is fully functional and that it's fully charged. There's a little button that you push that you just saw a little earlier, and you'll see all three little lights all lit up. Alright, so now we're going to do a quick test. This is just a standard outdoor drill. You see the little zinc screw over there. That was my bad. I picked the bit size was a little too small and ground out the threads in it. So that was my fault. That was me being stupid and not wearing my glasses while I did this. These are all the ones I'm using currently are 25 size 25 Torx outdoor screws just into a standard pine post. This is not a torture test. I don't intend to do a torture test. You're going to see in a minute or so me testing with a I lost my screw there just because it went in too deep, too fast. I wasn't ready for it. And the drill has a good bit of power to it, so I wasn't worried about doing it perfectly. I was just worried about making sure it was functional. This is not going to be a torture test. I want to have a functional drill when I'm done. I'm not trying to wear it out and to see how long it lasts. You're going to see me drilling a hole through this 4x4. The only reason why I'm doing that is to make sure it functions, make sure it's not grabbing or spitting out things it shouldn't be doing, making sure that it actually will power through what it needs to power through. It's rated to do that with a 1.5 inch bit, 1.5 inch drill bit. I'm using a 1 inch bit because I didn't have my 1.5 inch with me. It was somewhere else and I've lost it, so I didn't have it. So that's why I'm not going to do it. But just running through real quick, it works perfectly. It grabs things just fine. It's got some magnetic aspects to it. I forgot my guide. That's over at another location. Again, in a car that I don't have with me right now, and so I didn't have the guide. So I was kind of doing this by hand. But it just powers right through it. Does its job perfectly. And will it work 5 years from now? Who knows? That's the issue with all these. It has a 90-day return policy, which gives it parity with the Dewalt standard from Home Depot, so that's kind of nice. And it's got a 5-year limited warranty, similar to Home Depot's, but it lacks a repair clause so for that 1 year that Dewalt offers. So maybe it's better, maybe it's worse for you. It's really just a value judgment at that point. How often do you use the drill? Will you go through and basically destroy this thing through frequent use or not? Is this just a hobby thing, or is this just a backup drill? Who knows what you got it used for? So just keep that in mind. The warranty is probably the only real difference between this drill and a Dewalt. So functionally they are about the same, and I tested this with a Dewalt earlier, so this is not me just talking my butt here. This is functionally they're nearly the same product with different packaging, which is kind of cool. Alright, and right here you have me testing out the functionality of the drill. The reason why it messed up that first time around is my fault. I did not have the hexagon part of the bit into the chuck. It was grabbing onto the circular part of the drill bit, and obviously it slipped out because it grabs onto the hexagon portions, not the actual circular portions of the drill bit and the shaft on it. So that was my fault. Once I fix this issue, it powers right through it. I do it once and then twice to make sure it gets very, very hot, doesn't snag, and just runs right through it. This was tested with a brand new drill bit, so just keep that in mind. So results may vary based on the age of the drill bit, as with any time you're working with hand tools or tools that tend to be worn, that tend to wear out and need to be replaced. But after this, guys, I got not much else to say outside of the major difference between this and the Dewalt brand is the branding. The warranties are only slightly different. The biggest thing Dewalt has in its favor is the fact that it offers within the first year repair service under certain conditions. Those conditions can be pretty fine printy and unpleasant, but at least it exists. The Dewalt warranty is only for 3 years. The Parkside warranty is for a total of 5. They both offer 90-day returns at Home Depot and Lidl respectively. So you get what you're paying for here. When you really break it down, the Dewalt equivalent is $200. To get the equivalent value out of the Parkside, it's only about $100. So very inexpensive. If you're looking to give someone their first drill, this is what you would go with. That way you won't have to worry about that. I just gave a $200 drill set to somebody who's going to trash it. Now you're down to $100. Maybe you need a backup drill. This is a great option for it. And I'm going to do a follow-up video to this, and it's going to be me kind of doing it with a wince. The battery packs for this drill and the Dewalt are nearly identical. So we're going to test and see if they work with each other. And in particular, I'm going to test see if the Dewalt packs work with the drill pack. So you'll see that probably next week or so when I get the chance to test it. So overall, I'm really happy with the Parkside. But if you're worried about that quality retaining over time, I'd burn this thing up in the first 90 days. Really test it and make sure it works for you. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you found the video helpful. Again, like and subscribe. If you have any questions, please just leave a comment. Have a great day.